Hello, survivors, and welcome back to another episode of Will You Survive?
The podcast.
Oh, the podcast. My bad.
This guy.
My name's TJ, and I am joined by my two co-hosts. We've got Alex,
That's me.
and we've got Eric.
That's me, and this is the Will You Survive remix.
Welcome to Will You Survive Remixed.
WYS.
Today, we are talking about not Resident Evil or smashing Pokemon. You won't
They
get
don't
that.
know that.
You
That
won't
just,
get
now
that,
that seems
but you-
so random. Anyway, smash.
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 I caught a little
Pass.
punny. Batman, I caught a little punny.
Smash.
No, Joker, you
I
can't
mean,
do that, Joker.
Pass.
It's an animal Joker. There's no laws against Pokemon, Batman. Anyways, today we are talking about the best episode of Will You Survive that has ever been that I was not in. We are
You think that
going
was our
to-
best? Aw.
Yeah,
Aw.
the rest were ass.
Aw.
We're gonna make our official Will You Survive zombie again.
Remix.
Will You
Remix.
Survive remixed.
Wow, so this is the new official Will You
This is the
Survive
new,
zombie.
the last one, ass. This one is probably gonna be the best.
So I say this time, instead of fungal, we go robotic.
I mean, we've
It's
been
a-
talking
it-
about
it's a
Resident
virus.
Evil. I feel like we should
It's a
just go
virus,
viral.
but not what you think.
Like Westworld.
Yes.
If you haven't heard the last episode, their ideal zombie was fungal.
There was so much more to
They,
this, though.
they,
So,
they
okay.
talked about how
All right, hold
fast
on, hold
a
on, hold
scratch would turn you versus a bite versus blood in the eye.
I think we have some new perspectives now.
So hold on. I've got one thing to go through here. We got to agree on the terms. Can we agree that a zombie is a reanimated corpse and it's like an automaton? It has no free agency. It's not. I hesitate with things like Warm Bodies, where they had ability to think, reason, and carry out a plan.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to say the word automaton. It just has no free will, no independent agency.
Whether they
it lacks
are
the ability
being
of
controlled
speech.
by whether they're being controlled by something else or
Right.
they are like completely just
Primal
you know
instincts.
primal instincts. I think that's the way that you identify a zombie. Really. Also, they have to die and come back.
They have to
Yes.
die and come back.
So I will push back. I do 100% think warm bodies are zombies, but argument for another day. I think for all intents and purposes for this, yeah.
I feel like
I don't think
they're
we're gonna-
more infected. I feel like they don't go full
because they
zombie
came back
until they go husk
until they
mode.
were bonies.
Yeah.
No, so they made it a point to say that their hearts were stopped. They were dead. Their hearts were off. They didn't breathe. They didn't do any of that. The whole point, which is a stupid premise, but I love it. The whole point is that their hearts started beating again. So they were dead, but they came back to life again.
Okay. So we can all agree that a zombie is something that needs to die and come back and
Yes.
is not in control of themselves.
You're right.
Correct.
Full primal
agree with that.
instincts, like their brains shut off, or
Yep.
they're being controlled by like something.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have like specific topics you want to
We're
hit,
just
or do you
gonna-
just want us to free
We're just
it?
gonna kind of
Can
riff
I-
off each other and try to figure this
Can
out.
I throw
mean,
out
we have
a few ideas?
yeah.
I have one right off the bat that I
What?
think is important.
What?
I think the new official WYS zombie, you should be, in order to maximize on the grief and horror of it, when you're infected, you should be trapped inside your body. You're not dead. You're being controlled.
Okay,
The body dies.
That can be a thing, I think, because
The body died.
Let's go back.
Like they
to,
say in The Last of Us, right?
yeah, Last of Us. The runners are still in there. You can hear them like talking, but it's the fungus.
Well, okay.
causing.
But then
them
I guess
to-
the question, like, still, but then I guess that goes against the definition we just agreed on, because then you're not dead.
Mm.
I assume that if you die, like, you're dead. It would be
Yeah,
the same as
see-
if you just got shot in the head or something like that, you know?
True. So, what would a clicker be?
TikTok's gonna love that one.
Would a clicker be a zombie then? do they go from infected to zombie? I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah, see that's an interesting.
Because I feel like
Are we willing to compromise on that?
Once
or
they go
does that...
clicker, like, or once they like lay down.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
And they're dormant.
They're gone.
That's when it starts to break through their face, and there's no way your brain is living.
Yeah,
off
you're
that,
gone after
and
that.
I think
Let me
you're
make an
you're full
argument.
fungus at that point.
I'll make an argument for why this could be.
Okay.
You could be trapped inside, right? Because every single recognition of zombie from The Walking Dead, the Night of the Living Dead, which was the OG. I know you hated it, but fuck off. It
I
was
just think
great.
it's old. I don't think it's a bad movie.
So in all of them, they all agree that the brain stem is still active, right? Well, let's go over this. When a person is decapitated, the consciousness likely lasts for 3 to 4 seconds after. And it's explained that it's likely due to loss of blood flow. Now, the problem with a zombie is their blood is not flowing like it ordinarily would, right?
That's got to be horrifying. So for 3 to 4 seconds, your brain is actively aware of, oh, my head's not on my body anymore. Yeah. That's horrifying.
Yeah, you know what just happened. So, but I still think, well, here's the worst. Most estimates place it at 2 to 7 seconds. So 3 to 4 is common.
Question: if your head gets cut off, does your neck hurt or does your whole body hurt?
I think
Interesting.
I
Do you
think
feel it
if
just
you
in the
are
nub?
feeling any pain, I think if you are feeling any pain, it's phantom pain because there are no nerves attached anymore. But in reality, I think your brain goes into full nope mode and just shuts off everything.
Well, this gets
Full
even,
shock.
This gets even creepier. The residual electrical brain activity, which every single one of us, from Resident Evil, World War Z, The Walking Dead, all of them talk about residual brain activity, right?
Like STEM, yeah.
In residual electrical brain activity can persist in a decapitated person, typically 10 to 17 seconds, sometimes up to 30 seconds. And these are people who are still connected. So the argument could hold water that they're dead, but they can't go.
They say that I'm pretty sure they say like those 10 to 30 seconds that you're talking about would be basically like your life flashing
Right.
before your eyes. Like that's your brain replaying everything.
Right. It's your brain is a computer. It's trying to boot itself back up.
It's inputs, processing, and outputs.
Yep. So that would be pretty horrifying. And those were tests on rats doing EEG studies. So that's how
they didn't test it on humans?
Not that I know of.
Oh, man.
If they did, they're lying about it.
How would we know?
Fast or slow? And I'll give you my argument on why they should be one way or the other.
I still think slow. I don't think any virus, any sickness, any decay would increase ability.
So I like the idea of fast when fresh,
Fast
but
when fresh.
slow as
Who
they
did
go.
that?
Which is
We talked about
yeah,
this.
you talked about that in that episode. I just listened to it, so yeah. I think,
But there's a movie that did this. There's a movie that did it, and I thought they did it well because
Doesn't The Walking Dead do that?
well, yeah, kind of. But there was a movie that actually emphasized, one of the movies we covered that emphasized that they were faster when, I think it was outside.
Was it Resort?
Oh, that's what it was. It was Resort.
Yeah, because they were like, hey, how are all these zombies so fast if they're
When
supposed
they're-
to be
when
the
they're
old
first
zombies?
turned.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Resort.
So
And that's when we
why
found out that
I
they were
think
turning them on
Yeah.
purpose.
I agree with your guys' previous statement. Fast when they're fresh, because
Is that what
you're-
we agreed on?
I think that was.
If you die, that means your heart stops. That means blood stops moving. That means blood pools. Where does it pool? Lowest spot, your legs.
Your
You
feet,
go
your
slow.
legs.
So if we're doing, is our zombie immediately zombie? Is what I'm saying. Are we infected first?
So I think we have to decide what is the infection because I think that determines a lot. Because if it's fungal, you have the argument that the fungus is
Respiratory.
moving everything and is keeping like your organs functioning to
Right.
keep the body alive.
Right.
Ish. Now, if it's viral, we have a little more freedom of like what it is doing. Because like the T virus mutates completely.
there could also be psychological.
So that's what. So I was kind of questioning that. Like, do we want to go fungal or viral, or do we want to go something weird?
What if the zombie?
What about parasite?
What if you go crazy, right? And you go like zombie mode, and then boom, brain aneurysm, you die. But how do you come back? See, it doesn't make sense. See, you got to talk it out in your brain first.
Well, I mean, it also doesn't make a sense that a virus would kill you and then bring you back to life. But here we are with zombies.
I feel like the
Okay.
virus would have some way of oxygenating your brain while it's in there. What if because when things decay, usually they decay and turn into like carbon, like dioxide and shit. They release that shit. So what if it releases oxygen? You know?
You know, that's interesting. That's a thought.
Could I throw out parasite?
Parasite could work.
The parasite duplicates maybe in the mouth,
See, because
goes up to the brain, and then the parasite spread through bites.
If it's so Maddie just said an idea.
Yeah.
So if she said in like mantises and shit, like parasites will keep your body like going.
Oh yeah, you've seen that?
Yep.
Crazy.
So
Yep, and they're dead. Like they are
Yeah,
actually gone. They're
you
decaying.
don't have to be alive for your body to be oxygenated and blood to be flowing. That's what CPR is. You can be straight up like
Right.
gone, right? So I feel like that's how we could go parasite. I feel like parasite could work.
I think Parasite's so interesting. I don't know if there's ever been. I'm sure there has been, but I can't think of a zombie movie that is parasitic.
I mean, there's a movie called Parasite. It's
But
not quite the same thing.
That's not about a zombie at all.
It's not it's not quite the same thing.
Well, there's a couple of movies called Parasite. There's one.
Oh,
Based off
you're
an
talking about
anime.
what was it, like the Chinese one or Japanese, Korean? It's one of them.
There's
Korean.
something in that.
Korean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, that's just about a wealthy family and a.
Yeah, there's
and a
the other
poor family.
Parasite, which is I've seen like a couple episodes of the anime where it's like I think it's an alien. It goes down and it goes into his arm, but he like belts it off before it can like get through the rest of his body. So it kind of mutates his arm.
So where did this parasite come from? Is it from global warming that melts an ice cap that has like a frozen parasite that gets loose and some poor dude in the ocean contracts it?
I think we go racial with this. I think it was the
They were fucking the monkeys.
let's pick a really obscure race.
Pick a Slavic country. It's always a Slavic
no.
country.
Those fucking Hondurans.
I would say
Hondurans-
Siberia.
What about Yugoslavia?
Yugoslavia.
Yeah, the Yugoslavians have been eating a certain type of ice cream for years, but it's made out of a certain thing that's bad.
And they exported it all around the world because it had. Wait, so hang on. How does this work? Is it like they're exporting this ice cream that only they make that everybody likes, and then the parasite gets in it, or has the parasite always been in it and it just takes a while?
The
it just
parasite has
remains dormant?
always been in it, but it remains dormant until it's time. Straight up Plague Inc. style.
I like that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You ever played Plague Inc?
Plague Inc. I don't think so.
It's a phone game. It's basically about being a virus, or like you pick a pathogen. So you're either like a virus, a bacteria, fungus, or something like that, and you evolve to kill the whole world. So you infect people, but you don't want to become lethal too quickly, or they'll cure it really fast. So
Okay.
you want to be just infectious enough
To
that
be problematic.
everybody starts getting it, but fast enough so that they don't react to it, and then you become lethal real quick. So
Yeah,
that once
see-
like 5 billion or so are already infected with like a cough and sneezing,
It's
then
over.
then you start going with now you have shingles.
And
Yeah.
it's
Now you have
always
paralysis.
Yeah.
fucking
Now you have organ
Iceland.
failure.
Iceland, you sons of bitches, never want to get
They-
infected. They only have one port at the bottom.
It's bullshit.
And then I guess
yeah.
it just never fucking transmits through that port.
Not to get them, you have to like real quick just be like boat transfer.
Or some
Like,
random
this shit
Japanese
needs to
science
spread
team
through
finds
boats.
your non like murderous virus that is not doing anything at the current moment, but they're like, let's cure it.
You guys tweak on this shit, huh?
Well, it's so weird because you want to start in a country that's just poor enough that it's not wild that something is breaking out there, but not so important of a country that they're like, well, we should pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
what's
so,
this thing
but
in
it
everybody's
also
blood?
can't be like a nowhere country that has no airports or anything,
Right.
because it's gonna be so hard for it to spread.
It'll be
So, like,
either hard
it's-
for it to spread or it'll take fucking forever.
Yes, and then
That
you-
was
they
a
catch it.
line from World War Z. The airports were perfect transmitters for the virus.
Exactly. So, like in this game, you can evolve certain parts of your virus, like
Yeah,
or
you
your
can
your
make it
bacteria, your pathogen.
More airborne.
So, like,
you can make it more.
you could
know.
you can add more symptoms, or you can add more transmission
Oh,
stuff. You can make it more resilient.
And it'll randomly mutate at random points. So it'll randomly give it
Yeah.
a symptom when you're trying
It could
not to
fuck you
give it
over.
any. Yeah. So it'll be like, oh, all of a sudden they're puking blood, and you're like, no.
You're like,
So you
well,
have to
now it's on their
de-evolve it
radar.
before too many people die from puking blood.
Yeah, it's really funny because you'll be like, it's perfect. Like I have like 300 million people infected right now. It's just a cough and a sneeze. Like it could be anything, and then it mutates, and it's like, well, now they have skin lesions, and you're like, oh. Well,
That
they
can't
might
be
pay
it.
attention to that if 300 million people suddenly start having skin lesions.
Yeah.
So here's this aspect of it. Let's not throw out virus altogether. So in the case of the Solanum virus, that's the zombie survival guide, after killing the host, the virus mutates or repurposes dormant or low function brain cells into new minimal, quote, zombie brain organ. This altered brain structure sustains very basic primitive functions, movement, basic sensory detection, smell, sight, right? Aggression, and the drive to bite / consume, right? They don't eat for nutrition. There is no need to feed for nutrition. It's exclusively the virus's desire to spread. The body reanimates, and there's no need for circulation, respiration, metabolism, or any of the normal senses. The corpse walks, hunts, and persists despite decay, rigor mortis reversal, and lack of oxygen or energy. Only minor electrical chemical activity persists in this transformed brainstem, like structure enough for motor control and instinctual behavior, but zero consciousness or higher cognition. So the explanation of how is, I think, well laid out.
Yes, but that's their zombie.
Right. I'm just saying the explanation is well said on how a virus could do the same thing.
So, hear me out with Parasite, right? I'm imagining that this transmission, I know we just said that it remained dormant for a long time, but I'm imagining that this transmission happens fast, and that this infection happens real quick, like where you go from human to zombie very quick. What I'm imagining is content warning for those who might be sensitive to imagery, because I feel like this is going to freak some people out. Imagine like a bunch of little mites running around in your mouth.
They're in your skin.
Right?
They're in your
Like
skin.
how that would look, where it's like they're just all scattering everywhere, like a million ants just like in your mouth, like scattering everywhere. I imagine that's what these zombies look like, and that these parasites, you can see them, but only because there's thousands of them in the mouth, like running around, like
Right.
moving.
The way that they control
And they
you.
go up. They go up your nasal cavity, up into your brain, and that's how you get infected. So it gets in your mouth or your blood or however, it ends up in your brain. It controls you. They replicate or they duplicate really fast, and they start to fill the mouth, and they go in like all the crevices and whatnot. And that's why when they bite, it infects. And the parasite's whole purpose is to stay alive. So
Right.
it doesn't really have anything to do with the zombie eating people, but rather like World War Z, where it's just about infection.
Okay.
Do you know how horrifying would that be if every
Okay,
zombie that
and
came at you is like just a bunch of bugs?
Those, like, are they bugs or like worms?
Well, it's like worms, but I'm imagining like hundreds
I
of them
feel
moving
like
around
they
in the
get
mouth.
long like a tapeworm, because a tapeworm's a parasite, right? And then it wraps around, like interconnects through your bone structure and shit to like control you.
Ooh, okay.
You know, like once
Okay,
it gets the
yeah.
initial infection into your brain and starts like, you know, fucking with you to make like you do certain things, it starts to gain more control as it spreads.
So hear me out. Is it fast then, or is it a really slow transmission and it's incredibly painful because it's like it's burrowing into your bones and whatnot? So as you're
I
being
feel
turned,
like
it's
it
like
would
incredibly
be-
painful.
I feel
Because like the thing about like, let's say it's an intelligent parasite, right?
they can also
It doesn't have to take control right away.
It
It
could
could
also
get
go
itself
dormant.
established. Yeah,
yeah.
it could.
It can,
What
yeah.
if there's cases? What if there's cases where some people turn really fast and some don't, and it's all, but you're still like kind of like a little bit like Walking Dead, where like anybody could be infected. Walking Dead is like everybody is infected, but this could be like anybody could be infected, but you don't know because maybe they're just dormant.
Yeah. You think you're
So
seeing
kinda like
that
the
little
thing.
squiggle in your eye that like normally happens, but it's actually a worm in your eye, you know?
I like the idea of parasite. I feel like we don't have you on board, Alex.
I feel like let's call it the gray thread. Let's call it the bone lace.
The bone lace is gross.
So, I mean, parasite is not bad because
The
parasites are not generally, they're not generally, I want to say, dissuaded by our body heat. The only thing that would stop a virus from being a real possibility, the same thing for ophiocordyceps, which in some cases they can classify as a parasite, but it is a fungus, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing stopping these things from being able to actually cause the zombie infection is our body heat. Ophiocordyceps can't live in 98.6 degree heat. Viruses can't live in, I mean, they can live in 98.6, but
After
our
103,
right,
they
our
should.
reaction is fever, and that
Yeah,
kills
that's why we
all
have a fever,
viruses. Now, you know the one thing that we've never even talked about, which I don't know how this would exist, but what about bacteria?
So we
You
talked
see?
about bacteria.
You talked
in
about
the first
that
one, I
the
think.
first episode.
But I think we said that bacteria is too slow. I think that's ultimately what we came to. Is that what
Yeah.
was that what we came to?
I think so. And like,
That
what would a bacteria really do? You know,
I mean, bacterial infections are way worse.
Bacteria kill far faster than viral.
Yeah,
Your
it-
body tries to kill it with a fever, but it takes temperatures up to 150, 160 degrees, and at 105, we die.
So I think I think it is a little more realistic that like zombie infections would be bacterial, because then the fever thing makes a lot more sense.
It would be the fever that would kill you.
Yeah, because like that was The Walking Dead, right? It's the
Yeah.
fever that kills you.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. Do we know parasites what their heat resistance is?
I mean, they can survive in us.
Some of them can
so-
live perfectly fine inside of us.
Also, I'm thinking of the fact that if it's a parasite, that means it'll probably be transmitted through our shit and like tainted water.
Worms. Ew. Human
You know?
worms. Yeah. Well, I would guess like any fluid could technically be infected in some way. But that's why I like the idea of the mouth, because it's like this parasite is like, yeah, let me get a bite of that so I can jump over. Let me jump ship.
There are a few bacteria out there
They like
that
latch
would,
onto your face.
they would gain control via the gut-brain axis. Remember, a lot of viruses can't control the brain because of the gap, the
Blood-brain barrier.
the blood-brain barrier. They can't get in. So I mean,
What
there's
about it?
there's something to say about that.
What about
But-
a cancer?
Then we're just going I Am Legend.
That's that I think that goes straight I Am Legend.
Unless you're saying it's the cancer itself that kills and turns.
Oh, okay. This is a great one. If this is true, let me look this up. Fungus has been found thriving in nuclear reactors, which I think that is very possible
I think
because
there's a very specific fungus that feeds off of a very specific radioactive material that I've heard about.
Radiation zombies. We haven't talked about radiation zombies.
yeah, that's another one.
I have a harder time with radiation zombies.
Which
because
there would
my-
have to
my-
be like an initial thing. It would have to be apocalyptic situation already for radiation zombies to be a thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not even thinking that. My problem with radiation zombies is transmission. How do you make more?
Radiation.
I don't think you do. Well, yeah, but like, that's not going to do it. Like, I don't know. I feel like radiation zombies make sense if it's like they were the survivors of this nuclear fallout that mutated them into these zombie-like creatures. But then what? Then they bite someone. They would have to just be out to kill, because then they bite someone and what? I'm infected with your radiation now? I mean, at that point, you just get
Right.
radiation poisoning.
Right.
You don't-
Yeah, because it would decrease.
Yeah, like you weren't in the fallout, and that's
Right.
what turned them. So unless like this fallout has some special something
Yeah,
in
I
it,
I feel like
that turned
radiation
them into a zombie.
zombies kind of video gamey.
I have a harder time with radiation zombies.
Like I feel
You know
like
what?
they would emit like an aura when they're like trying to You know,
it's Fallout. It's ghouls.
They'll glow.
Like,
They'll glow blue. You know.
yeah, like it's like the radioactive ghouls in Fallout 4.
You want to know the most well-documented case of mold in nuclear reactors is? What type of mold it is? Black mold.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, guys, we don't have the rate or like the type of infection, but we know that they're slow. We know that
Are they
need
slow?
to die.
They're
Fast
fast,
and then
with
slow.
infection.
Yeah,
they're
fast when they're fresh.
Fast when fresh.
So how long are they fast? Are we talking like
3 days. This starts degrading.
Well,
Right away.
Rapidly.
we still need to know
Yeah.
what is happening to them. Is it a virus? Is it?
I feel like
I feel
we
like
gotta
to be
original.
different, we gotta go parasite. I feel like
That's kind
parasite's
of what I'm
interesting.
thinking.
Parasite is doable. It could survive the body temperature.
I feel like the bone
The fever
rates are
could
way
be
to
the
go.
thing that could kill you.
I like the bone thing. I like the idea that like it could be dormant and then once it activates, it's incredibly painful because I like to imagine that I like to imagine. I don't like to imagine this, but I think it's creative to imagine that it would be so painful because it's thousands of these little worms burrowing through your bones, like weaving in and out of them, like you said, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just like your entire body just feels like it's on fire as like these things are burrowing through your bones,
Yeah, like
and that's how they control you.
I think you go
And-
crazy at the start once they're in your head, and then once like that.
Does it start
and
with like hallucinations?
I think it runs off your adrenaline and all that, right? At first, and then you crash, you fall down, you freaking get shredded up for a couple days because they're interweaving through your bones.
Well, I mean, okay,
Well,
so
I feel like you would die of shock from that amount of pain,
And
Like,
that's how
if
they die.
If they all started weaving through your bones at the same time, like your entire body just lights up. I feel like your brain kills you.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to take that.
What are you looking up?
well, I'm having a harder and harder time arguing against parasite because this already happens in nature.
Mm-hmm. With the mantises?
It's more than that.
And that
Parasites I feel like parasites are not talked about enough.
they're slept
Like,
on.
I thought quicksand was going to be a problem in real life, but I feel like parasites are something you should be more concerned about.
Okay, this reminds me. There is a guy who like posted to some forum or something. I don't know if it was Reddit or whatever, but he would just he told the story about what he would do, and he walks around and sprinkles parasite eggs on things, and he is full of parasites, and he calls them his little babies, and he wants everybody to have some of his little babies.
And people like that are why I don't fully disagree with the death penalty.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the only counter and cross is the scientists keep using the word parasite and pathogen, and viruses are also a pathogen. And this particular article directly links both of them together in this question of whether a human could it be argued that a human zombie would be used by a parasite to bite another in order to transfer the parasite's offspring? Yes, it would absolutely, or it could absolutely be argued, and it currently is being argued that would be the case. Then they go directly down into the rabies virus.
Oh, and so like Eric, you were talking about how like the worms are in the mouth. What if that's where they leave their eggs to like incubate, and that's how it spreads?
Yeah.
They go for
I'm
a
okay-
bite,
I'm all
and
down for
then I mean, there still is like worms dangling out because some of them are grown up, but like all around the gums and stuff.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
Ew.
Wow, okay. We have a problem.
Hmm.
A virus is widely considered a type of parasite.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, I
suppose.
guess. But we're talking like we're
Specifically-
talking worms.
Specifically, it is considered an obligate intracellular parasite.
What's a tapeworm
Okay,
classified as?
but so that's parasite by the definition that it's a coexisting pathogen that needs a host to survive.
yeah,
and to
parasite
feed off of.
takes from host, doesn't give anything in return.
Which technically, yeah, a virus does that.
The
It needs a host.
the only argument you have going for you is in common parasitology, viruses are often distinguished from parasites to avoid confusion with worms or protozoa.
Yeah, so like there's a reason we
But
say,
they're the same.
but there's a reason we distinguish viruses from parasites. We don't consider them the same. Like if you say like, oh, they've got a parasite, you don't mean the flu.
Well, no.
I mean, people do say I've got a
technically
bug.
in virology and microbiology,
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
viruses are all
No,
parasites.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying colloquially, there's a reason we distinguish the two, and it's because we do classify them as something different. Like I don't classify a virus as being the same as having worms in your stomach. Now, scientifically
It's
and
like-
technically,
it's
they
like
might be in the
when
same
you say,
family,
like-
but we classify them differently for a reason.
There's animals in my house. You don't think I'm talking about fucking spiders or ants?
Yeah, there's a reason you distinguish the
It's
two.
like,
even
oh,
though
I've
they
got
are
an
animals.
infestation. You don't think about fucking raccoons.
No, but you got to say the same thing that you just said. To say I've got a bug.
No, I do like that argument, and I think that's where the technicality comes in. Where yes, they are the same, but colloquially we do call them different for a reason, and it's to distinguish those two. I think what we're specifically talking about is like a worm,
We're talking
or
about
like
a
those
macro-
brain eating. Wait, do you know
But
guys know
why
those?
would it have to be a worm?
We're
Because that's
we're
what we're
talking
talking
about
about.
a macro like parasite, not a micro parasite.
Something you can see.
Yeah.
Like you can visibly see the worm. You can't visibly see a virus. It's too small. But okay, but hear me out. You guys ever heard of those freshwater brain-eating amoebas?
Yeah,
That's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Those are real.
they go up your nose.
Yeah. You ever heard of those, Alex?
No.
Really? Yeah, my mom told me about those when I was like 12, and then I never wanted to swim in a lake ever again because that's horrifying. There's legitimately these freshwater brain-eating amoebas that get up your nose, and they just start munching away at your brain. That's like the very dumb way of explaining it. But look up freshwater brain-eating amoebas. They're kind of fucking creepy
On a-
because they're real.
On a side note, I think that our parasite was caused by RFK. I think he wanted all of us to have worms in our brain like he did.
Canonically.
I had a worm in my brain that taught me how to play jazz guitar.
So does RFK Jr. have a son?
I don't know.
He does, right? I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, these motherfuckers
Okay,
old. If
well,
he never had a kid,
In
bro,
our
it's
in our
real weird.
universe, he has a son who grows up and goes, "I hate the way everybody made fun of my dad. Now everybody's gonna have a worm in their brain." And then they came up with this.
He starts a corporation.
Exactly, and it's called the Balcony Corporation.
The Balcony Corporation. The
Can we also just
the
talk about how?
Wormhood.
Can we also talk about how Umbrella Corporation is the laziest name ever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an umbrella corporation. That's literally what they're like referred to. Yes, we get it.
Over everything.
It's the umbrella of a bunch of different yeah, we
Yeah.
get it.
It's BlackRock.
It really is, honestly, in the Resident Evil universe.
I've been
Well, I don't think I have-
transmitting the BlackRock virus.
So Parasite?
I can't argue against it. I mean, I think that in my argument, viral falls in the same category. They act the same, they do the same, they react the same. They're
But
not treated the same.
Yeah, the treatment
but
is different, and I think that's also why they're categorized the way they are. Is because you don't just use what do you use for viruses?
Fucking
Not
antiviral.
antivirals.
Huh?
Antivirals.
Antivirals? Yeah. What are they like?
Or a
I
vaccine.
don't-
You don't do, and you don't get vaccines for fucking parasites.
Yeah, and so like when your dog gets kennel cough, that's a virus, but you don't get them dewormers and heart medicine. Like you don't get them that. You get them worm medicine when it's a parasite. Like when Cozy had Giardia, that's a parasite, and so they gave me special dewormers for that.
Cozy was the fucking ground zero of our
He was ground
Yeah.
zero.
He licked
Outbreak
the
monkey.
sink water.
So
Outbreak monkey.
do our parasite zombies transmit to animals?
Yes. Oh my god, I wanted to talk about this. So there's actually concept art from The Last of Us showing fucking fungal animals, dude, and I wish they fucking went with that, dude. It would have been so sick.
Don't they show it in the show? Wasn't there like a deer?
I don't remember.
The Last of Us?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
I could have sworn in either one of the games or
They haven't.
Or
No,
in
not in the
show,
game.
I swear I'm remembering a scene where like the deer looks normal, and then the deer turns to you, and it's clearly like cordyceps infected, and they're like, oh.
You might
Maybe
be
I'm mixing it up
thinking
with a different
of
movie.
Train to Busan. Wasn't there a deer in that?
That deer at the beginning, when it got back up, was all jacked up.
No, but there's like this is like they're in the forest, they're humans watching this deer, and you know what? I might be thinking of the show The 100.
Yeah, no. The beginning of The Last of Us first season was just a bunch of news
I
clips
think I'm
talking
mixing it
about
up.
how the world's getting hotter, so the fucking fungus evolved.
The 100 deer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The largest living organism on Earth is the humongous fungus
also talked
in
about.
Oregon's Blue Mountains.
Y'all talked
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
this was it. So it was this. They're looking, and it's just this regular deer, and they're like, "Oh shit,
Oh.
yeah,
And then it has two heads.
yeah." Here, I'll stream it for you, TJ, really quick. I'm sure our listeners will love this. But basically, it's the scene from the show The 100 where they first get back down to Earth, and they see a deer from the side profile, and it looks completely normal. The premise of the show is that everybody nuked each other, the world's uninhabitable, so they go up to space. And then they send a bunch of bad kids down to Earth to see if it's habitable again. And they come across this deer that looks normal, and they're like, "Hey, it's habitable!" And then the deer turns its head, and its face is split into two, and they're like, "Ah!"
Maybe not.
So that was what I was thinking of. Mommy. But okay, so we have parasite zombie, worms, lays eggs in the mouth to transmit, can be
infect
dormant,
animals.
can infect animals. They're fast when they're slow, but that starts to. Or they're fast when they're fresh. They're fast when they're slow. They're fast when they're fresh, but it decays quickly. So I guess the parasite can't keep the body alive forever. So that's why its whole goal is to transmit and get to the next body.
So how long could...
I'm thinking that the body decays naturally.
I feel like it decays at a slightly slower rate because what I'm imagining is
or does
that
the parasite
parasite is pumping the blood and moving the lungs.
Okay,
in
so it's
order.
doing what the fungus does, where it's like it's keeping the
takes
body moving
over the body.
But
for a while.
yeah, so
At
that would
limited
also
capacity.
fit with fresh is fast. So the
And
fresher
you're
the
trapped in your-
initial zombinism is when they're like
and
full.
it's keeping you alive like freaking life support.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
the,
trapped
so
in
you
your
can't-
brain.
once-
You can't control yourself.
Oh shit.
But you're dead.
So wait.
and then once
so
the
you're
parasite starts to slow down is when they start getting
technically-
slower.
brain dead?
Yes.
Would you be like minimal brain activity? So
I
you
think-
have maybe you have no consciousness, but you can't get out.
Wait, so what if the parasite is smart enough to sever the link between your brain to the rest of your brainstem, like the rest of your nervous system?
So you just have to sit and watch.
So your brain is in full control, but the parasite is controlling your body, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and basically watch everything you're doing that this parasite is making you do.
That's
Pretty
horrifying.
horrifying. That sucks.
So
you're
and then
eating- you're
eating your
loved
vision
ones,
gets
but you're watching
cloudier and
yourself do
cloudier
it.
and fills up with little worms.
Okay, but you wouldn't technically be dead.
That's the problem here is that you wouldn't technically be. But what if it's like the initial infection is an infection and then it kills you?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We're saying that once.
But then does it bring you back?
I think you go sicko mode and you're going off adrenaline and stuff. Once you crash is when it starts to
like that.
burrow. That's when you die because
You
it's
come back
burrowing
slow.
through your bones, and it controls your body from there on out.
And then you're just a husk. So the initial infection is like World War Z. You're fast as shit. Like it's just pure adrenaline, whatever the human body is
Fast as
capable
fuck,
of.
boy.
Fast as fuck, boy. So it's that. All about just trying to spread the infection. That's the whole goal of being that fast and just pure adrenaline. But you're trapped in your body because the parasite has severed your connection to the rest of your nervous system. So you're trapped in your body watching yourself do all this horrendous things. And then once the adrenaline wears off, once the initial, like maybe let's say at tops day of the parasite keeping your body moving, it can't do it anymore. Your body dies. and then it's able to
And
reanimate you
that's
into
all
more of
by
just
the
like a
parasite's
husk.
design. It's making that, it's like fucking with your brain glands or whatever the fuck, your adrenal gland.
Yeah.
It fucks up with your adrenal gland, and it pumps it out.
Oh, that's the first place it goes. The virus knows to seek out the adrenal gland.
Why not?